Have you found yourself in midlife crisis? Let's talk about why it happens, what it is, and how to deal with it. Okay? So, midlife crisis is basically when you lose your sense of self, you are like uncertain of yourself because everything you thought you knew about yourself is suddenly sort of gone. It's not really gone, but you sort of lost the sense of self. And that's a tough place to be in. That's what people fear the most, but eventually it happens to people that have built their identity on something that isn't truly theirs. Throughout our life, we have all sorts of labels put on us, whether by our parents or people from society or us ourselves putting labels from whatever we get inspired to label ourselves. We have all these labels, but these labels shouldn't really define who we are. But people do the thing where they make their label their identity. But these labels never stick. They can never make you truly fulfilled and be content with yourself because they aren't you. Because a lot of these labels have discrepancies and little flaws, which over time you can start to notice. And that flaw can go against your base values, right? And then you start to feel like, okay, this label, I'm shying away from it because it just goes against what I believe in, what I believe to be right. But the problem is, when you made this label your identity, right? You are shying away from what you made your identity. And that's what it usually is. When you build your identity with weak foundation, it's as if you try to build a house on sand. Eventually it crumbles, right? It's not on a strong surface. So when that happens, suddenly you are stripped, you are naked, you are cold, because you don't have a house. This feeling is uncomfortable, you are lost, you don't know what to do. That's what people fear the most. That's why people cling onto the label, the ideology, the religion they truly believe in, and anything that criticizes or brings up good points about the flaws of their belief. They don't even accept it. Even when it's true, they just don't want to hear it because they are afraid to be cold, naked, and scared. But midlife crisis can happen when something that worked for you your whole life suddenly isn't working anymore. It's sort of similar. It's very similar. It can happen when you are an athlete, for example, and suddenly you grow older, but your whole life you were an athlete. That was your whole life. Training, performing, training, performing. That was your lifestyle. That was your life. But as we grow older, our bodies change. You aren't capable of physical performance anymore, or at least on the highest level. But as I said, that's sort of a label you put on yourself. Because you are not this athlete. That's something that you were doing. But you are someone who you never truly got to know because you were too busy doing the activity, devoting yourself to whatever it was. Now, you are sort of at crossroads. You can find another label and find your identity in that, sort of not learning the lesson or not changing your ways, devote yourself to a label. Or actually starting to get to know yourself so that you can build your life around who you are. And this is a much stronger foundation which allows you to reach your fullest potential, to live your life to your fullest. There lies your true happiness. Thanks for listening.